Welcome to Persimmon. We have come a long way from when Persimmon was founded in 1972. Since then, the Charles Church and Westbury Homes brands have joined us. Our mission is to build homes with quality our customers can rely on at a price they can afford. As part of our vision, we have 5 key values: customer-focused, value-driven, teamwork, social impact, excellence always. To help achieve this, we have introduced the Persimmon Way. This is an end-to-end build policy that has quality, health, safety, and the environment at its heart. Key objectives include our commitment to ensure the quality of the homes we build, ensure a healthy working environment for all stakeholders, operate a safe site for our workers, and understand and minimise the environmental impact of our site operations. You can find a copy of our policy statements on the app, where you will also be briefed and consulted on quality, health, safety, and environmental matters. This information will also be available from the site management, notice boards, and toolbox talks. The induction process that you are going through is testament to the Persimmon Way. You will need to watch this induction film and understand the content in order to complete the validation questions on the app. When you first arrive on site and have been instructed where you park your vehicle, you must go directly to the site office. You must not yet enter the construction area. Upon arrival on site, scan the QR code at the site office using the app. This will prompt you to complete Part 2 of your induction with the site management. You will be provided with an outline of how the project will be managed and advised of any site-specific information. Carry out any other tasks as required and follow the instructions on the app, which will confirm when you have been fully inducted. You will then be able to proceed to your work area. You will not need to go through the full induction process every time that you arrive on site unless you are prompted to do so by the app. Once the site-specific induction is complete, for any subsequent visits to site, you can use the QR code as directed by site management to sign into the site. You can then use the app to sign out. You must sign in and out when you arrive and leave site, including for lunch and breaks. You can do this by using the app. Expectations. To work on our sites, you must hold at least one in-date competency card. For site workers, this must be a CSCS, CISRS, CPCS, or NPORS card. Unaccompanied visitors must hold an HBF visitor card. If you are operating ride-on-plant, you must also have a valid driving licence. You will be asked to upload a photo of these cards to the app, and you must have them with you for Part 2 of your induction. As a minimum, you must wear the following PPE on all of our sites: hard hat, high visibility vest or jacket, and safety footwear with midsole protection. Other task-specific PPE may be required. In order to ensure that you can hear approaching plant, headphones and earphones are not permitted on site. Hoods or woolly hats must not be worn under or over hard hats because they restrict your vision. Whilst on our site, you are expected to be considerate and courteous to all members of the public and follow the site rules and safety signs. For your own safety and the safety of others, horseplay is strictly prohibited. Please report all accidents, incidents, unsafe acts or conditions to the site management. Follow your work-specific risk assessments and method statements. Ask your supervisor or the site management if you have not seen these yet. Only authorised and trained persons are permitted to operate plant. Please report any defects to the site manager. Please do not interfere with any safety equipment. We will provide clean, modern welfare facilities. Busy sites may have a rota system to accommodate everyone. Please report any issues with facilities. Clear waste into bins provided and clean up spills or mess you make. Mobile phones can become a distraction, so there are situations where they must not be used. You must make a decision if it is safe to use your phone. If you do, you must stop and remain static. Do not wander around. You will be told where you can smoke or vape on site by the site management. If you smoke or vape outside of these designated areas, disciplinary action will be taken against you. Failure to comply will result in you being removed from site. Drugs and alcohol are strictly prohibited on site. Anyone suspected to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol will be removed from site and reported to their supervisor. Anyone caught with drugs on site will be reported to the police. We may request that you partake in drug and alcohol testing. Failure to comply will result in you being removed from site. The Persimmon Way build standards cover a series of tighter tolerances, setting our expectations for quality. These tolerances go beyond those set by the industry and our warranty providers. Our team of independent quality controllers will check the compliance of every build through both plot key stage checks and routine site inspections. The IQC team will offer support on site to assist trades and the site management in achieving the required build standards. To make it clear who is responsible for completing different parts of the build, we will outline the specific scope of works for each trade. This will include a project schedule that works alongside the design process. Outlining the scope of works helps to ensure trade-specific compliance. It also allows each trade to be more cost-effective, reducing the need for remediation in the future and improving overall quality. The working environment. Assess your own working conditions to ensure that you can work comfortably and safely. You can protect yourself when it is hot by drinking plenty of fluids, applying sun cream, and planning your work so that you are avoiding the sun where possible. You should also protect yourself when it is cold or wet by wearing appropriate warm clothing and taking regular breaks in a warm place. We will provide you with safe access and egress in and around site in the form of segregated pedestrian walkways or machine-free zones. You must not therefore walk down site roads, but instead use the walkways provided. These are shown on the traffic management plan. Make sure to look both ways at crossing points and do not move pedestrian barriers or obstruct pedestrian routes. If you are caught not using walkways, you will be given a non-compliance notice and may be asked to leave site. On all sites, machine drivers must give way to pedestrians, but if you do need to pass closely by a machine that is operating, assume that the driver has not seen you until they give you the thumbs up to pass safely. Please remember that if you are operating a machine in a restricted area and need to reverse, you may require the services of a banksman. Each of our sites will have a telehandler to move any bulky material. There will, however, be occasions when you will be required to carry out manual handling tasks. Please only lift what you are capable of lifting comfortably and seek assistance when lifting heavy or bulky material. Before lifting, check that your route is free from obstacles. Always lift using your legs, keeping your back straight, and avoid twisting. When you have reached your destination, lower the load by bending your legs, not your back. Slips, trips and falls on site can be prevented by everyone having a clean and tidy work area. You should keep your work area tidy by carrying out regular clean-ups throughout the day. If you spill anything, please make sure that it is cleaned up immediately. When disposing of your waste, segregate it appropriately, ensuring that it is stored securely in the containers provided. Not only does this help to keep your work area tidy, but it also helps to protect the environment. Other key environmental risks on site will be made clear to you by the site management. You must understand the environmental risks associated with your work activity and put in place the necessary control measures to eliminate or reduce negative environmental impact. Environment incidents must be reported to the site management immediately. To be respectful to our neighbours, please do not work outside of the permitted site working hours. During working hours, please keep radio volumes down when working close to occupied areas, and ensure you are working in lit areas when daylight is limited. Managing hazards. Construction dust can be a silent killer. If your work produces dust, you must wear an FFP3 face mask if cutting or in the cut zone, or if you are sanding down. You will need to supply a copy of your FaceFit certificate during Part 2 of your induction. If you have a beard, please advise the site management of this because the FFP3 mask will not offer sufficient protection. To protect yourself and others, you can use water suppression. You can also use an M-class LEV when using chop saws or routers, and an L-class LEV when using powered sanders. Please remember that dust can be a nuisance to local residents, so we must all do what we can to keep it to a minimum. If you discover or suspect the presence of asbestos on site, you must stop work immediately. Move people away from the area, restricting access, before reporting your concerns to the site management. The site management will ensure that the area is cordoned off and will contact a licensed asbestos contractor. Most trades use some form of hazardous substance. Substances must be correctly labelled in their proper containers and kept in a secure ventilated store away from plots and welfare facilities. Substances must have a COSH assessment, the results of which must be communicated to workers. Excavations on site can pose a risk if they're not managed properly. The person responsible for the excavation must ensure that all excavations are safe and inspected regularly. To prevent falls, excavations must have appropriate signage and deep excavations must have a Harris fence around them. Do not enter an excavation unless there is protection against collapse in place. Falls from height can be avoided by managing hazards through forward planning. When working at height, make sure that edge protection is in place and report any defects to the site management. Excavations must be fully enclosed. When climbing ladders, always maintain 3 points of contact and do not carry materials or tools. Use a pallet or a muck bin that the telehandler can lift. When working on scaffolding, check with the site management that the scaffolding has been handed over and inspected. You are not permitted to alter any scaffolding unless you are trained and authorised to do so. If working over a stairwell protection system must be in place. To mitigate the risk of being struck by falling or flying objects, always wear the correct PPE. During lifting operations, make sure that loads are secure and close loading bay gates when they are not in use. Do not walk or work near lifting operations or loads, and be aware of what is going on around you. Everyone has a responsibility to ensure that all materials and equipment are stored safely and that rubbish chutes or skip bays are used to remove waste material from scaffolding. Anyone throwing or bombing materials from scaffolding will be immediately removed from site. Processes and procedures. The site management are all trained first aiders. You will be advised of any additional first aiders on site during Part 2 of your induction and told where the nearest A&E is located. The first aid box is located in the site office, along with an automated external defibrillator. In the event of an emergency, you must provide immediate first aid if you are trained and it is safe to do so. You must call for help from others and call the emergency services if they are required. You must then inform the site management, who will take over control of the emergency. All our sites will have ample fire extinguishers and alarm points. The site management will tell you where the fire muster point is and brief you on the fire plan during Part 2 of your induction. The site management need to be able to account for you if there is a fire. This is one of the reasons why it's imperative that you sign in and out of the site. In the event or discovery of a fire, you must activate the nearest fire alarm and shout, "Fire, fire, fire," making all others around you and the site management aware of the fire. The site management will call the emergency services and take control of the situation. When you hear the fire alarm, proceed directly to the fire muster point. Do not leave site until site management has taken your name and you have been authorised to do so. Only if it is safe to do so should you attempt to extinguish the fire yourself using the portable extinguishers. Modern slavery is the illegal exploitation of people for personal or commercial gain. It can include forcing someone to work excessive hours with little or no pay, in poor working conditions, and housed in squalid accommodation. Look out for workers who disclose to you that they don't have a written employment contract, have to pay fees to get to work, or are not legally entitled to work in the UK. Victims of modern slavery may appear frightened, reluctant to talk, and have few personal possessions. You can help eradicate modern slavery by reporting any concerns that you have to your supervisor or the site management. To achieve our aim of higher standards of quality for our builds, the temporary protection policy outlines key areas of the build that require protecting. This helps to prevent damage from building works. The Good Practice Guide provides comprehensive guidance to enable sites and trades to aspire to the new Persimmon way of working, enabling a consistent approach to the build. By working together, we can aspire to deliver the highest level of quality in the industry, building exceptional places to live for our customers. Together, we make a home. Thank you for completing Part 1 of your induction. We look forward to welcoming you to one of our sites.